Mindset power. How to stay motivated when you feel like giving up. Part 1. Introduction. The moment before quitting is the most important moment. Welcome to Mindset Power. Right now, somewhere in your life, you are standing at the edge of something. A goal that feels too far. A dream that keeps getting harder. A version of yourself you started building but aren't sure you can finish. That feeling, that heavy, exhausted, what's the point? Feeling is not a sign that you should stop. It is a sign that you are close to something real. Every person who ever achieved anything significant passed through exactly this moment. The difference between those who made it and those who didn't was not talent, luck, or perfect conditions. It was the decision to keep going when everything said stop. That decision starts right here. Understanding why we want to give up before you can fight the urge to quit, you need to understand where it actually comes from. Giving up doesn't usually happen in one dramatic moment. It happens slowly, through accumulated exhaustion, a series of small disappointments, and the creeping belief that effort and reward are no longer connected. Your brain is wired for efficiency. When results don't come fast enough, it begins to question whether the investment is worth it. This is biology, not weakness. Recognizing this is the first act of power. The desire to give up is not a character flaw. It is a signal, telling you that something needs to shift. Your strategy, your support, your timeline, your self-talk, never your dream. The gap between starting and succeeding. Why it feels unbearable. There is a gap that exists between where you start and where you want to be, and almost nobody talks honestly about how brutal that gap feels to cross. At the beginning, motivation is high. The dream is new. Energy is available. But somewhere in the middle, what researchers call the messy middle, reality sets in. Progress slows. Comparison creeps in. Doubt starts speaking louder than vision. This is not failure. This is the price of admission for anything worth having. The messy middle is where most people quit, which is exactly why finishing it separates the extraordinary from everyone else. Knowing you are in the messy middle and naming it takes away half its power over you. Your why. The anchor that holds when everything pulls away. Motivation powered by excitement will always run out. Discipline powered by habit is stronger, but even discipline has limits. What outlasts both of them is purpose. Your why. The reason underneath the goal that connects to something deeper than results. When you are exhausted and the numbers aren't moving and the people around you aren't impressed, your why is the only thing left standing. So here's the question you need to sit with. Why does this actually matter to you? Not the surface answer, the real one. The one that lives beneath the ambition and the achievement. In the part of you that knows who you're doing this for, what it would mean, and who you would become in the process. Find that. Write it down. Read it every single morning. Redefining progress. You are further than you think. One of the most dangerous habits in the pursuit of any goal is measuring progress only against where you want to be, instead of measuring it against where you started. When you only look forward at the gap, you feel perpetually behind. But when you turn around and see how far you have actually come, something shifts. The miles already traveled remind you that you are not a person who has never moved. You are a person who has already moved, who has already done hard things, who is already proving that this is possible. Progress is not always visible. Growth is not always measurable. But it is always happening when you stay in motion. Today, stop looking only at the destination. Look back. Honor the distance already covered. That person started. You are still here. The truth about motivation. Nobody tells you, here is the truth, they don't put on motivational posters. Motivation follows action. It does not precede it. Most people wait to feel motivated before they begin. But the feeling of motivation is almost always a response to starting, not a prerequisite for it. The days you least want to show up are the exact days that build the most character. When you act in the absence of motivation, you are proving to yourself that you are not dependent on feeling good to move forward. That is one of the most powerful beliefs a person can build. You do not need to feel ready. You do not need to feel inspired. You need to take one small action, right now as you are, and let the momentum build from there. Action creates motivation, not the other way around. Identity over outcome. Stop chasing results and start becoming. Most people frame their goals entirely around outcomes. Lose 20 pounds, make $100,000, write the book, get the promotion. And while outcomes matter, they are the wrong place to anchor your motivation, because outcomes are outside your control. What you can control is who you are becoming. Every day you show up, you are casting a vote for a version of yourself. Every time you choose discipline over comfort, you are telling your own brain, this is who I am. When you shift your focus from, I want to achieve this, to I am becoming someone who does this, motivation transforms from a feeling you chase into an identity you inhabit. You are not someone trying to be consistent. You are a consistent person. The results will follow. They always follow identity. Shrink the target. The power of showing up small. When the goal feels overwhelming and motivation is low, the answer is almost never to push harder. The answer is almost always to go smaller. Smaller is not lesser. Smaller is sustainable. Instead of, I need to work out for an hour, make it, I will put on my shoes. Instead of, I need to write 2,000 words, make it, I will write one sentence. This is not giving up on the big goal. This is protecting access to it on the days when everything inside you resists. A tiny action done today is worth infinitely more than a perfect plan abandoned. The habit of showing up, even in its smallest form, preserves the identity, maintains the streak, and keeps the door open on the days when quitting seems most reasonable. Environment is everything. Design your space to pull you forward. You cannot consistently out-willpower a bad environment. Willpower is a finite resource that depletes throughout the day. But a well-designed environment works for you even when your willpower runs out. If your phone is the first thing you reach for in the morning, your environment is working against you. If your running shoes are by the door, your environment is working for you. If the people closest to you are constantly negative about your goals, your environment is draining you. If you are surrounded by people who are growing, your environment is lifting you. Audit the spaces you spend time in, physical, digital, and social. Ask, does this environment make my goals easier or harder? Then change what you can. Motivation is not just internal, it is architectural. Closing part 1. You have not failed, you have arrived at the real work. If you are still reading or watching after everything we have covered in part 1, here is what that tells me. You have not given up. you are not giving up. You are someone who, even when exhausted and doubtful, is still searching for the thing that will help you keep going. That is not the behavior of a quitter. That is the behavior of someone who is deeply, unmistakably still in the fight. The real work of staying motivated is not about feeling energized every day. It is about building systems, identities, and environments that make quitting harder than continuing. In part 2, we will go deeper into resilience, self-compassion, the stories we tell ourselves, and the practical tools that turn the worst days into the most defining ones. You are further than you think. Keep going.